Hello, good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen from different part of the world. My name is Priyanka, and I'm the South Asia in-country representative for University of Missouri St. Louis. I would like to welcome you all for University of Missouri St. Louis and MSM Agent E-Summit 2020 Live. I will also take an opportunity to thank you all for taking out time from your busy schedule for this most knowledgeable session today. UMSL is a vibrant and diverse community that we are all proud of. From our outstanding students to our dedicated faculty and staff, we are a community of scholars who are committed to excellence. It's no wonder more than 105,000 alumni chose UMSL for their degree. Today's session is most important because of our esteemed faculty members from Biochemistry and Biotechnology, Biology, Chemistry, and Biochemistry department will be giving us insights on these programs. I'm sure you will have a lot of questions to ask, so we will have question and answers round in the end of our presentation or in the end of our session. I'm sure you must be aware of Zoom features as you have been attending a lot of our webinars. Still, just as a refresher, if you have any questions and queries, then you have Q&A tab in the bottom, wherein you can type in your questions and we will be happy to answer. Also, if you face any technical concern, we have our team to help you out for your technical issues, be it voice or you're not able to hear us, video issues or whatever, then you can make use of the chat box. Now, I will not take much of your time and introduce you to Ms. Lee, who is our International Admissions Manager from University of Missouri St. Louis Global Office. Over to you, Lee. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for joining us. We're happy to have you here, as well as we're thrilled to have our faculty members here to present your program. So, from biology, we have Dr. Wendy Olivas.
Hello, everyone.
From biochemistry and biotechnology, we have Dr. Bethany Zolman.
Hey, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you this morning and this evening.
And from chemistry and biochemistry, we have Dr. Keith Stein, Dr. Ika Bauer, Dr. Janet Braddock-Wilking, and Dr. Mike Nichols.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
All right, and now I'll turn it over to Dr. Olivas.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. So I'm going to talk about our programs in biology. So Lee, if you want to move to the next slide. Great. So we have a multitude of different both undergraduate programs and graduate programs within the biology department. You can go back one slide. Thank you. So at the undergraduate level, we have both a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science. There's a slight difference between the two. The Bachelor of Arts is a little more of a liberal arts degree, has more of a foreign language requirement and more humanities, whereas the Bachelor of Science has more laboratory courses and some more affiliated chemistry and science courses. We also have a dual degree, a 2+3 program with both your bachelor's and master's degree at the same time in a 5-year time period. And at the graduate level, we have a master's as well as a PhD. Both of those programs allow students to have a broad flexibility in biology, from everything from cell molecular biology to ecology and conservation. And we also have 2 graduate certificates, one in biotechnology and another in global biodiversity, conservation, and leadership. So Lee, if you can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So within our biology major, whether you're in the Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, you can choose, if you wish, to move your programming through different academic tracks. Again, our biology major is very flexible for you to pick the classes that best serve what career options you're interested in. So one of the academic tracks is pre-professional and health sciences. Another track is cell and molecular biology. And then our third track is ecology, evolution, and conservation. So not only do we have coursework in all of those areas, especially in the cell molecular and ecology, evolution, and conservation. We have many faculty members that are doing world-renowned research in those areas. Lee, can you go to the next slide? Great. So in general, what do you get out of a biology degree, especially at the undergraduate level, but also at the graduate levels? Well, not only do you get knowledge, but the most important things we feel is you get critical thinking skills and laboratory skills to enable you to have a successful career, whatever that career might be. You also have a chance to practice both oral and written communication skills. You have a lot of practice in scientific literacy and education and professional and research ethics. So with those outcomes, what kinds of careers do our students go to? Again, we have a multitude of different areas. So if you are in more the pre-professional health sciences track, we have many students that go on into the health sciences, whether that's onto medical school, optometry school, pharmacy, dentistry, all those kinds of things, or somewhere in the health sciences field. We also have many people that go into the biotech field, especially since St. Louis is a hub for biotech and there's many, many companies here. We have lots of our students that go into the biotech field. A lot of our students also go into graduate school or into further education, and they may either be in K through 12 education or go on and become college professors themselves. And also we have many people, because we have a strong research in ecology, evolution, and conservation. We have many people that go into conservation groups, whether they're government entities or non-government organizations. We also have many people that work, for example, at zoos or botanical gardens or other places like that. So next slide, please. Great. So these are just examples of a few of our teaching labs. The building where all of the biology and chemistry teaching labs are located is a fairly new building. It's only a few years old. So all the labs are very new with lots of new equipment and setup. So whether you're just in the intro biology lab as a freshman or moving through genetics or upper level labs in anatomy or biotechnology, you have a really great experience. And a lot of our labs actually get you a small little bit of research experience where you can do some independent projects and work with all sorts of different model organisms and different techniques. So next slide. Great. So as I said before, most of our faculty are very heavily into research. And so this research may be maybe your typical research in a lab shown on the picture on the right. We have many labs, for example, in the cell molecular biology area, microbiology area, or that research might be that you're out in the field, especially if you're more in the ecology, evolution, conservation area. So this is just kind of a sampling showing some of our students out there doing their research, again, whether it's in the field or in the lab. Again, we have research, everything from molecular biology. For example, my lab studies regulation of genes in Parkinson's disease. We have other faculty members looking at antibiotic resistance in bacteria. We have several plant molecular biology groups, some of them working on enhancing agricultural products. And then we also have in the ecology area, people studying conservation of bats and pollination and different plant species in South America. We also have people working in the Galapagos Islands doing conservation work there, as well as looking at the evolution of memory and intelligence, actually using insect species, bees and flies. So those are just a sampling of some of the things we do for our research. Next slide. Great. So I also want to emphasize that within the Department of Biology, we have the Whitney R. Harris World Ecology Center. And this center promotes research and training in ecology and biodiversity conservation across the globe. And it increases public awareness in global resource conservation. So we have students from all over the world who come and are associated with the World Ecology Center. This center is also, and our department has official ties with the St. Louis Zoo, the Missouri Botanical Garden, and the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center. And so students, many of them get grants for their research. We also have scholarships for students. And this is both at the undergraduate and graduate level that you can get money from the Harris Center to do research in your studies. So I think that's my last slide, and I'd be happy later to take any questions about our department and our programs.
Okay, we're turning it over. Oh, sorry, turning it over to Dr.
I jumped in.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bethany Zollman, and I am a professor in the biology department, as well as the program director for the Biochemistry and Biotechnology program. Our Biochemistry and Biotechnology program is a joint degree program between the biology and chemistry and biochemistry departments. So I'm going to nicely fit right after Dr. Olivas' discussion of the biology department, and I will lead you into a discussion from the chemists that will follow me. Our program takes faculty from the biology department who are interested in more cell and molecular based topics, and includes faculty from the chemistry and biochemistry department who are interested in the biochemistry aspect of studies. And we take classes from both of those programs as well. So our program is at the interface of biology and chemistry, with really a very applied focus into how we can use those fields and those tools and apply those concepts to questions that are important for our society today. You can see our mission statement here is to provide students with a solid foundation in both chemistry and biology, and then do some specialized training in biochemistry and biotechnology. As Dr. Olivas mentioned, St. Louis is a big hub for biotechnology, so we have a lot of industry locally, but actually we have students who have graduated from our program and gone to places all over the world to take their skills they've learned in our program and apply them to different types of questions in different industries. We do have a particular focus or a particular belief for our program that students should be learning basic core concepts in the classroom, but we also have a number of laboratory requirements to make sure that our students understand not just what we can do, but how to do it and how to use those skills and get practice using those skills. We also have seminars, and we have a lot of interest in having our students have research experiences in faculty labs or through outside internships. I will highlight this a little bit more later, but our students from our program will go on to additional graduate training or professional programs. And we also have a large number of our alumni who work in different industry or academic labs studying different questions in this field. So if you go to the next slide, I'll show you a little bit more about our undergraduate programs. Our undergraduate program is a Bachelor of Science. And the way our program is set up, students will start by doing the basic coursework in biology and chemistry. So at the beginning of the program, a biochemistry and biotechnology student, we call them BCBT students for short. A BCBT student program would look a lot like a biology student or like a chemistry student. What we do is they build on that basic coursework that they would take. So the introductory biology classes, the introductory chemistry classes, they would move through to genetics and cell biology and organic chemistry on the chemistry side. Then they start to move to their upper level electives. And their upper level electives are where they're going to choose a little bit more about what to focus on. Some students will choose a couple of courses in very similar related areas. So a student with a medical focus might take upper level electives in immunobiology and virology and bacterial pathogenesis. Other students like to have a broader approach and a broader background. So they might take a class in plant molecular biology and then instrumental analysis in the chemistry department. So our students really have a lot of choices for what types of electives they want to take to bring together all those core concepts that they've learned in their introductory core concept classes. In addition, we do have required labs that are senior level labs, so that they are really building on all of those introductory concepts. So all of our students in our program are required to take a biochemistry lab as an upper level elective, as well as a biotechnology lab. And the biotechnology lab is really one of our key points of pride in our program. It's a 4-credit-hour class, so it's an intense class that meets a lot per week. And it is a combination of lecture and labs. So the course goes all the way through a full biological research question using different techniques, and really gets into not just, sort of how to do all these things, why we do all these things. There's troubleshooting, and there's really data analysis and presentation types of things that go along with the endpoints of what you would do with scientific research. We do also encourage and we give credit to students who do research as part of their degree. So a lot of our students will do research in one of our academic labs. The ones Dr. Levis was describing would be parts of the options for some of our students. We'll hear more in a minute from our chemistry colleagues about some of the research in those labs. A lot of our students do earn credit for doing that. And then, as you can see in this picture on the bottom, a lot of our students present their research at a symposium. We have an undergraduate research symposium on campus that a lot of our students present at. We also have a lot of our students who do off-campus internships, either working in other academic labs in St. Louis or working in industrial settings. And we are happy to give credit for research experiences for students as part of their degree, because that's really just another way of learning how things work. If you go to the next slide, I'll show you a little bit more about the graduate program in our Biochem Biotech department. So we actually have 3 different types of programs. We have a master's degree level programs. The first is a non-thesis master's degree. This is a 30-credit-hour degree where students would take courses that would build on their undergraduate work in order to be able to learn more, both at a concept and understanding level and at an application level. We also have a research-based master's degree, which requires a thesis and research being done in one of our labs in the program. We also have a professional science master's degree, which combines science and business. So students within that program would take 21 credit hours of science towards their 30 credit hour master's degree, as well as doing some business, communication, psychology, law, or economics type classes that might help show them the other side of science if they were thinking about a career in industry. Just like the biology program, we do have a dual degree option available. This is becoming common with our students. They will come in as undergraduates and they will stay 1 additional year and earn their master's degree, where some of their coursework will count towards both programs at the same time. On the next slide, I think I highlight a little bit more about some of the things that are outcomes for our programs. So we do have learning outcomes, and I sort of highlighted those a bit in our mission statement. Our general outcomes are based around the idea of learning the basic core concepts in biology and chemistry, and then learning how to think about applying what we know to unknown questions in the biological and chemical fields, in science in general. So we do work through both classes and labs and seminars in order to be able to help students understand all of those things. We have students who go on to everything. So our coursework that's required for our degree actually goes through the full range of courses that are required for things like the MCAT. And so we have a lot of students who do a biochem biotech program and then go on to take the MCAT, and we have several who are in medical school currently, several of our graduates that are in medical school currently. We also have students who have gone on to optometry school, to pharmacy school, and to dental school. So professional schools are an outcome that some of our students choose to take. We also have a lot of our students who are interested in continuing their research focus. So once they graduate, they go on to master's level programs, or some go on to PhD level programs. A lot will choose that either they're sort of more in tune with the biology side or the chemistry side. We have some who choose more specialized focuses. So one of some of our recent graduates have chosen more specialized PhD programs to build on what they've started in their biochem biotech undergrad programs. But a lot of our graduates are trying to go and work in local industry or academic labs so that they can take their skills and apply them to questions. So we have a number of industries, and some of them are listed in this, the word cloud in general. A lot of them are looking at research and development programs. A lot of them are involved in production-based programs or quality assurance-based programs. And a lot of them are working both locally in St. Louis and all over the world. So you can understand that a degree program like this gives you some very applied skills that lead to some different types of possibilities for what you want to do next. I think my last slide actually just gives you some contact information. So this would be if somebody is interested in the program, we would be happy to have them follow us on social media or to contact us directly with any more questions. And of course, I'll be around for the end for any Q&A as we have time.
Okay, now we're turning it over to chemistry and biochemistry. I believe Dr. Stein's up first.
Okay, so thank you very much. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why one might want to major in chemistry. Chemistry and biochemistry are central sciences for understanding matter and life. Technologies and solutions to challenging global problems are being addressed using chemistry and being worked on by chemistry majors. Chemistry majors, we seek a molecular level understanding of not only materials, but also of processes going on inside living systems. Chemists are special because they know how to synthesize new molecules and materials to meet the demands of developing new technologies in many different areas, healthcare, energy, and others. And they work on problems related to many global challenges in areas such as energy, healthcare, the environment, and the global food supply. So chemistry plays a central role in approaching these kind of problems. So next slide. So our majors have gone on to be employed not only in new kinds of companies, but also in established industries that employ many thousands of chemists, including in the St. Louis area. The St. Louis area is a center of chemical industry in the U.S., and it is also a hub for biotechnology and pharmaceutical related research. So areas like pharmaceuticals, foods and beverages, cosmetics, fuels and energy, agriculture, environmental chemistry, these are all areas that are well established and that our graduates have found jobs in. So next slide. Also, many of our chemistry majors have gone on to pre-professional, had a pre-professional focus and gone on to medical school or dental school or pharmacy, or gone on to go into patent law. And it's known that chemistry majors achieve top performances on the medical college admissions test. Next slide. So our department has BA and BS degrees in chemistry, and there's opportunities for good careers at all levels of education in chemistry. Our BA and BS degree graduates go on to work in the chemical industry. Some go into high school teaching. Some go to work in labs associated with state or local governments, and our graduates have found excellent placement into careers at the BA and BS degree level. So the BS degree has an ACS, American Chemical Society certification for its level of quality of the program. And our BS degree comes in two different options. One is a traditional chemistry degree, and the other is with a biochemistry option or emphasis, where your upper level courses would focus more around biochemistry. And I should also say that our department emphasizes undergraduate research very strongly. Essentially, all of our BS degree graduates have had a research experience in a faculty member's lab by the time they graduate, and a little more than half of our BA degree graduates also seek out and obtain a research experience. And overall, the majority of the students in our department are seeking the BS degree. We also offer MS and PhD degrees, and these open up additional career possibilities, research and development in the chemical industry, teaching and research at the university or college level, and more advanced positions in government laboratories. So next slide. Oh, okay, now it's time to hear more about the master's degree.
Dr. Nichols?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Nichols. I'm the director of the MS program in chemistry and biochemistry. As you heard from Dr. Zollman earlier about the Biochem Biotech program, I'm also involved in that program as well as an advisor, and there's a number of faculty in chemistry and biochemistry that participate in that program. So, I mean, I'm just thrilled to be able to talk to you in this Zoom session today, wherever you may be in another part of the world right now. But we would love to have you come to University of Missouri St. Louis and explore any of our programs. For our MS program, we've always welcomed international students, and actually they're very desirable to add a lot of diversity and different thinking to our programs. So I only have 2 slides for the Master of Science in Chemistry and Biochemistry. As you may know, there's multiple disciplines within chemistry. You see them listed there. To earn a master's degree, you will have to complete 30 credits of coursework, and you have lots of options. You can take a well-rounded master's and take a variety of classes in all these disciplines, or you can demonstrate some proficiency in 4 of these 5 areas and then customize your program to emphasize a particular discipline. So next slide, please. All right, so I mentioned this, if you look at the left side of the slide, you can demonstrate your proficiency by taking a course in a particular chemistry discipline, or you can take a qualifying exam to satisfy that requirement, or you can have some previous coursework that we could take a look at to see whether that applies to that proficiency. But however you decide to do the program, we have multiple courses available in all of these disciplines, including special topics that are taught by different faculty within these disciplines that you might not be able to get at other places. We have a seminar program which you can take for credit, and it counts towards the master's degree. And of course, we encourage research with the faculty, and that also counts as credit towards the master's degree. So there may be some questions about what it takes to get into the master's program. And so we're looking at grade point average equivalent of 3.0 and a 4-point scale. And we do look at, obviously, chemistry degrees are accepted, but we do look at other degrees that people have, and sometimes we can design some coursework to get you into the master's program. Okay. So what's the outlook like for a master's degree in chemistry? It's very good. So a chemistry degree is desirable, and then when you take the advanced coursework and really sharpen your knowledge of chemistry and biochemistry, that's going to be sought after in industry and in other areas. And so I think there's already been some examples of what we have here in St. Louis. Many of our master's students either are working at these companies or go on to work at the companies within St. Louis or outside of the area. And so many people also move on to doctoral programs. But I just have a short list of where you might end up working. And of course, there's many other options that you can apply the MS degree towards. So thank you very much, and I'll hand it over to the next speaker.
Okay, Dr. Braddock Wilking.
You're muted, Janet.
There we go. Can you hear me now? Okay. So much of what you've heard from Mike and other members of the department, we have a very exciting research program going on in the chemistry and biochemistry department. You can earn a master's degree and a PhD in chemistry or biochemistry, and you can be involved in a research program that is at the frontiers of chemistry. There are many employment opportunities in the growing areas of pharmaceutical biotechnology and nanotechnology industries. And the major research areas we have in the chemistry and biochemistry department at the PhD level is organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and organometallic chemistry, physical and analytical chemistry, as well as biochemistry. Many of the courses that are taken by the master's students that Dr. Nichols described are also courses that the PhD students can take. And we generally require a 3.0 or higher GPA for applying to the PhD program. The next slide, please. Research and teaching are high priorities, top priorities in our department. We have relatively small classes, and this allows for significant interaction with faculty. And faculty and students are co-authors on papers that can be published resulting from their research work in scientific journals. And they also can, many of them give presentations at conferences. We do have an international makeup of faculty, graduate students, and postdoctoral associates in the department. There are a number of job opportunities in industry. One is chemical production. That also includes the chemical, electronics, and petroleum areas. Pharmaceutical jobs are another important type of career path. Food and beverage, cosmetic and personal care products, and more recent fields of materials and nanotechnology, as well as biochemistry and biotechnology. Next slide, please. And I just want to point out a little bit about our facilities at St. Louis in the chemistry and biochemistry department. We have excellent facilities. We have a high resolution NMR facility that has 300 megahertz and 600 megahertz instruments. We have a state-of-the-art X-ray diffraction facility. We also have a mass spectrometry facility. And we also have a number of other instrumentation available to researchers in the department, such as IR spectrometers, as well as UV vis and fluorescence spectrometers, and the MALDI TOF mass spec instrumentation. We also have state-of-the-art computer labs available for students to use. And all the equipment is available for internationally competitive research. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to our faculty members. Now we'll do a brief overview of the admissions and scholarships we have available, but we'll kick it off with a video about St. Louis. Okay, so we're really proud to be one of the reasons St. Louis is such an amazing place to work and live and study. For graduate admissions, we'll just jump right in. We encourage everybody to refer to the degree profile. For English proficiency requirements, we recommend a score of 6.5 on the IELTS, a 79 on the TOEFL, a 105 to 110 on the Duolingo, or a 53 on the Pearsons. And at the graduate level, program directors will have some ability to take slightly lower scores based on the rest of the student's profile. At the undergraduate level, we would want a 2.3 on a 4.0 scale. The required scores are 5.5 IELTS, 61 TOEFL, 85 to 90 on the Duolingo, or 44 on the Pearsons. For the application process, for undergraduates, it's pretty simple. You work with MSM to submit the applications. We would need, in addition to the application, high school and university transcripts, the English proficiency test score, and immigration materials. Once we have all those in place, it usually takes 5 to 10 business days to get a decision to you. At the graduate level, you'll work with MSM to submit applications. You can get their affidavit of support online. The passport and bank statement are required. But mainly we're looking for the transcripts, test scores, and if the program has specific requirements like letters of recommendation or GRE requirement. With our application system, students can request their letters of recommendation to be sent electronically. Once we get everything in place, the application is sent to the department for review. There's a review by an admissions committee in the graduate school. And from there, we can get onto the decision processing in the I-20. Depending on the program a student applies for, it can take longer, particularly at the PhD level, because it is important to have a really good fit at the PhD level, especially considering faculty matches. So we're really looking at the PhD level for students to have not only the academics, but a faculty mentor. For the priority application deadlines, for undergraduates, it would be November 1 for the spring semester or June 1st for the fall semester. At the graduate level, we're recommending October 1 for spring or May 1st for fall. Please do keep in mind that some programs may have earlier deadlines. So for example, the PhD biology program has an early deadline, usually in January or December, the year prior. So it's important that the students meet whichever deadline comes first. If the program does not have a deadline, and for undergraduates, we try to remain flexible, and we'll admit students up to the point where it's no longer feasible for them to arrive. We do have a scholarship program at the undergraduate level. It's $14,000 is the maximum scholarship. We also have $12,000, $9,000, and $6,000 scholarships. For maximum consideration, we want students to apply by the early deadlines, which are February 15th for fall or August 15th for spring. So if your students are looking for spring admission, we would want them to have their materials in by August 15th. At the graduate level, students our office will award scholarships between $5,000 and $6,000. The early deadlines are the same. We again recommend meeting that earlier deadline just to get maximum consideration. However, if you meet the regular deadline, we'll still consider you. And that is all I have for the admissions side, and let's open it up for a question and answer.
Thank you, Lee, and thank you to our esteemed faculty for giving so much of information about their respective programs. Now, I'll be picking up a few of the questions for the faculty. And the first question here, is about biochemistry department, that how good is the biochemistry academic curriculum suitable for an analytical chemist? So I repeat the question. How good is the biochemistry academic curriculum suitable for an analytic chemist?
Well, I mean, I'm happy to answer that question.
Please.
Did you want to stop sharing the screen and maybe they could see all of us a little better? Unless anyone wants to see the slides, that's fine. So, I mean, you have lots of options. An analytical chemist could.
The question was.
Could enter the master's program in chemistry and biochemistry and customize their selections however they see fit. Once you satisfy the proficiency requirements in the department. But an analytical chemist, and Dr. Zollman can talk about this as well, could also enter the biochem biotech master's program and still customize their coursework as well. So you have lots of options during a graduate program here.
Sorry for a moment, I was disconnected and then it reconnected. But the question, which Mike covered, many of our courses concern analytical techniques in protein assays and enzyme studies, instrumental methods, spectroscopy, chromatography, all things that are used by analytical chemists that are be working in the pharmaceutical or biotechnology industry. So I think that if the question was, does biochemistry prepare you well to be an analytical chemist? we definitely have the training courses and facilities for someone to do that in our department at UMSL.
Wow, so that's a great news, and this answers the question that yes, if anybody is interested into analytical chemist, they can go ahead and can join in our biochemistry program. So another question is for considering the pandemic and the current situation about the classes. The classes are going to be online, or it's going to be face to face.
I'm happy to answer that question. So at UMSL, we're trying our best for the classes that we can fit into classrooms to be what we call blended, which will be half in the classroom and half online. Unfortunately, we can't have all of the classes as hybrid or blended because we just don't have enough classrooms, because we want to make sure all the students are safe and 6 feet apart in the classrooms. So any of the classes that are basically 30 and over are going primarily online. There might be a few sessions on campus, and classes that are less than 30 will definitely have a significant on-campus component to it, but we'll still have an online component as well. So it'll be blended.
Let me mention that in chemistry, we've reconsidered all of our labs. So all of our laboratory courses will be having either all of the sessions or some of the labs will be substituted with online activities, but many of our lab courses, we've just rearranged the way that we're going to do them in order to have fewer people in the laboratory at a time, yet still be able to do essentially the same experiments.
And I will say that all of the biology labs will be running live as well. So all of the labs are 24 students. And so we're bringing in half at a time during the period. So all the lab students will have an experience in the lab.
Wow, so that's a great news that that our students will be able to have access to labs also. Another question is, I think, for UMSL Global team. So they're asking about the requirement of GRE. So for the admissions, GRE would be required or not?
Well, so for the master's program in chemistry and biochemistry, the GRE is not required. Dr. Bauer is the director of our PhD program, and we've recently revisited that. So, Heike, do you want to comment on the GRE for the doctoral program?
As far as it stands right now, is that there is no requirement for a GRE anymore. I don't know if language has been updated and if it's already in the books, that's not for sure, but the best way is to contact the admissions committee about that, and there might be a way to work around it, but the tendency goes that we not require GRE anymore.
Similarly, the biochemistry and biotechnology master's program no longer requires the GRE. We base our admissions decisions on academic record, and often the statement of purpose is very important in our decisions because we want to know what you have done before and why you're interested in our program.
Oh, great, fantastic. So this is a great news that we do not require GRE. And this is applicable, if I'm not mistaken, for our spring 2021 as well. The GRE is waived off for our spring 2021 as well? Okay, yep. Yes. So
no, that's going forward. GRE is not required.
Okay, that's great, fantastic. So another questions as particularly if we talk about in India, a lot of our degrees are for 15 years, or education is of 15 years. So to get an admission into master's degree, do you accept 15 years of education?
Yes, we do. So the way UMSL evaluates 3-year degrees from India is that the degree itself must come from a university that is accredited by the NAAC with a grade of A at the time it's awarded. And then the student must have received the degree in the first or second class. Unfortunately, this means we have to wait till they graduate to make that evaluation. So if a student is completing a 3-year degree, they'll have to complete the degree before they apply. But if they're in a 4-year degree track, they can apply as soon as they finish their 3rd year and have mark sheets for that.
That's great. So another question, I'm seeing that a lot of people are putting in their questions in the chat box. I would request that if you have any questions, please put in the Q&A tab, because the chat box is for technical concerns or if any issue is there related to audio or video. So please make use of Q&A tab for your questions to be answered. Now, another question which very often we receive from Nigeria or our Ghana countries agents about the English proficiency test requirements. So can you please give details on the same, that do we require English proficiency test scores for our Ghana and our Nigerian agents or our students?
Okay, what I can do is pull up our latest list. Give me just a second. Okay, so we recently expanded the list of countries that we waived the TOEFL for. So as you can see, it's gotten quite extensive.
Yeah, so it has got Ghana, Ireland, Jamaica, Kenya, Nigeria as well. So
yeah, and some of the students may be asked to sit for an exam at the start of orientation, but hopefully they'll be able to pass that exam with flying colors. We're assuming they will.
Can we put the link in the either the Q&A or in the chat box of this list here?
Certainly.
That's great, thanks.
thank you, Lee, and thank you, Leanne, for putting in the link as well of the countries wherein we do not require English proficiency test scores, or we have the waiver of English proficiency test scores. So another question is about the fee. What is the fee structure per semester or per year for BS and MS programs?
Who wants to take that one?
Okay, let me just grab the screen again. Let me just send this first link out in the chat box. So
I send a screen. I send a link to the tuition into the chat box too.
Thank you, Eike.
okay. At the undergraduate level, we expect to see $40,520 or $48 per year for the I-20. Most of that goes towards tuition, although we do include amounts for living expenses and our mandatory health insurance program. At the graduate level, it's slightly lower, but again, most of it will go towards tuition and fees, and with some set aside for mandatory health insurance and living expenses.
I would just throw in my comment, and Lee, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but at least for the graduate master's program, you pay by the credit hour, and your tuition and fees are all built into that one price per credit hour. So master's students typically take less credits per semester. So generally our students are taking 1 or 2 courses per semester. Every now and then there's someone who takes a little bit more. And so you pay by the credit hour. But the fees are all rolled into the tuition. So there's, as far as I know, there's no additional costs.
Yes. So our estimates that I just shared are also based on the enrollment students will need to maintain their I-20 and their visa status.
Okay.
So our graduate students take 9 credit hours per semester in fall and spring, and then at the undergraduate level, it's 12 credit hours per every fall and every spring. However, if you have one of our scholarships, you are asked to take 15 at the undergraduate level.
Great, thank you for that. Another question which I guess faculty can answer is about the GPA scores. Like there is a situation wherein the student has gotten work experience. However, the GPA scores are a little bit less than 3.0 out of the scale of 4.0. So can we consider work experience if the GPA scores are less for our master's degree or for our PhD programs? So work experience can be considered in place of if GPA scores are a little bit less than 3.0 out of the scale of 4?
I can briefly answer that because I mean, I need to look to my colleagues, but I would say no, right? I mean, the GPA requirement is a requirement that cannot be changed by just 15 years of work experience. I think the GPA is just fixed values, but my colleagues might correct me.
I'm just wondering if we still have the category of provisional admission that I think
We do.
I've heard of in the past.
But I think
Yes.
it's only. I think we do have that, but that holds true for a GPA of 2.75. There's a provisional admissions, and then they have, and yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and then within the first semester, they basically have to maintain a GPA of 3.0.
Yeah, there's a limit. There's a limit on the provisional.
Yes.
Yeah, certainly if you're right on the borderline, we look at all kinds of other activities and experiences that you've had. We look at recommendation letters that you provide, life experience. It's one disadvantage that the GRE isn't required anymore is that sometimes if you scored really well on the GRE, that would help out if you had a borderline grade point average. But we just look at the whole package, and if you're right on the line or a little below, that can potentially be outweighed by other things that you've done, for sure.
Maybe one extra comment here. It's still, of course, possible. You can still provide a GRE voluntarily. Yeah, so it's still okay to add it to the admission to the application package. That's of course still possible, and the committee might consider it, but it's not really a strict requirement anymore.
I think the other thing I would add to this question is that we do consider grades in specific classes a lot of times as well. So if you didn't do as well early in an undergraduate career, but then you did very well later in the undergraduate career, that speaks to improvement, and that's something we can take into account when making those provisional recommendations. So students could be advised that if they write a statement of purpose to address that, don't think we won't notice, because we will. So actually saying something about why a particular semester might not have been as strong, or why a record that's improving might be a better indication of their potential is a good method for helping us understand what that rationale is.
Priyanka, can I add to this?
Please, Leanne, please go ahead.
So when and my faculty colleagues here, if I may summarize that information that you just provided for our participants today who are consultants and want to pass that information on to potential students, my personal summary would be we have clear requirements in place. However, the takeaway is every single potential graduate student will be looked at in a particular personal way. So don't take the formal obstacles as too big obstacles. and try it. And then our faculty team here is very generous with their time, with their judgment, and with their feedback to get back to you. And if students don't meet all the requirements yet, you will get the feedback. Hey, this is missing, that is missing. Give it half a year, look into that, and then come back again. Would that be correct, faculty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you for summarizing and giving information on this. So another question is about, again, somebody looked into our website, and what's mentioned on the website is either the classes are 100% online or 100% evening classes. So either Leanne, if you would like to specify on this, like what is mentioned on the website and what does it mean, like 100% online and 100% evening classes?
I don't. I'm not quite sure what piece of our website is cited here. I know that, as we have mentioned earlier, for the fall semester, as the university, we're looking into a hybrid or blended model, which means we have a component of in-class teachings, and also in the case of our today's coverage here, of course, lab work that is requires for people to go into the labs physically, and they'll be available to do so. So for the 100% online, I don't know, I'd have to give it back to our faculty crew here. Is there anything 100% online?
Well, we did go online this past spring semester. I'm not sure if that might be what it's referring to. Our graduate courses in the fall are blended, actually.
I suspect this is actually a reference to the fact that most of our master's programs are what are called NOW programs, which means they are nights, online, and weekends. This is a designation we use for our students who are students working in the St. Louis area to indicate that they can hold a full-time job and come to class in the night or online and be able to complete their degree while working. For international students who are coming and participating in our programs full-time, it affects the times that they are in class, but the designation would be simply that they can complete the program for students who are already here.
Great, thank you so much. So we have our blended classes. So it's not only online or only face-to-face. So we have blended classes, as we have already discussed earlier as well. So another question is about PhD. What is the process of PhD admissions, and do we require a mentor or a supervisor approval to get an admission into PhD programs?
Do you want to take that?
Yeah,
Are you the person?
Go ahead.
Sure. For the PhD program, we have an admissions committee, and Dr. Wilson, she's on the panel, might maybe chip in also. You get admitted to the program, and then an advisor selection process would start. It means first you just apply, and an admissions committee will evaluate all the applications, and then students will get accepted, and then they enter the program, and then in the first semester, students start taking classes, and then we're going to start an advisor selection process where a research mentor is identified, that the students then basically are going to be advised until the end of their studies. It means until graduation. I don't know if Janet would like to contribute here.
Yes, we do have a process by which the potential applicants will need to apply. We do require TOEFL scores and letters, typically 3 letters of recommendation, and of course the application. If anybody's interested, they can contact me. I have a sheet that I send out with GradChem information, frequently asked questions and answers that they might find useful.
Janet, would you mind putting your information in the chat box maybe?
Sure.
In fact, if anybody wants any questions, if you have questions and queries regarding admissions, or want to share your student's profile, you can do that with me. Most of you already have my contact details. If in case you do not have, I'll be putting that in the chat box. so that you can just note it down. For any admissions query, you can get in touch with me and I'll be happy to answer your questions and queries. And also our managers, those who are there in different part of the world, are also available to help you out with your admissions concerns. Now, another question is about scholarship,
Can I
because
jump
we
in
have,
just for biology, just
yeah,
to
please.
clarify, because we sometimes do a little bit different than what chemistry just said. So for PhD students, it depends on the area. Some students contact faculty directly. And so some students in biology will go directly into a lab. Obviously, they have to apply to the program and be accepted by the program. And we too have a graduate committee that analyzes all of the PhD applications. But some students may go directly into a lab if that's acceptable by the faculty advisor. And we have other students, usually more in the cell molecular area, that may do rotations. And so they'll do rotations through 3 different faculty labs in their first semester before deciding which advisor they will have. So we have a flexibility that anybody can either go directly into a lab after being accepted by the program or do rotations.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for answering this question, because PhD question keeps on coming in on a regular basis to us about the admissions and process and all. So another very important factor is about scholarships, because we have got amazing scholarships options for our international students. So both for our undergraduate and our graduate students. Can anybody, like maybe Leanne or Lee, would you like to share details about the scholarships which we are offering to our students both at an undergraduate and a graduate level? And this applies for all our international students.
Certainly, I'll bring up the slide. All right, so for undergraduates, it's $14,000 for GPAs of 3.5 or higher on a 4.0 scale. Then if it's 3.3 or higher, we go to 12. At 3.0, we go to 9. And at 2.8, we go to 6. The best bet is to get in by these early deadlines here for maximum consideration. At the graduate level, and this mostly applies to the master's level, because PhD students can sometimes get assistantships that are fairly generous. But for master's students, they're eligible for between $5,000 and $6,000. Again, they'll want to meet these early deadlines.
And then if I, Lee, if I may add for everybody here. So at UMSL, for our international students, we want to make sure that everybody who is applies at UMSL has an automatic chance for such a scholarship, because we know what a burden it is to come here and to pay those prices. So students do not have to separately apply for that, but they are automatically reviewed based on their GPAs that are listed here. That's important because that takes a lot of the burden and the work off their shoulders.
Thank you, because scholarships actually helps a lot of our students in terms of the cost factor, because Lee did share about the fee structure that our undergraduate tuition fees is around USD 23,690, and for graduate it is around $22,300. And with the scholarships, the cost can really come down for our international students. Now, another question is about intakes. What are the different sort of intakes which are available? And this question is also particularly about Nepal, because they are saying that the embassy is going to schedule the interview not before second week of December. So would it be wise to recruit students for the January spring 2021 intake?
Absolutely. We take master's students on a rolling basis, so both August and January. PhD program is the same. We've taken some January admits for the PhD program. And we've got a number of Nepalese students in our doctoral program right now.
Thank you so much. Dr. Jenna, do you want to say something? Okay. So thank you for this answer. So we are open for our spring 2021 intake, which is January, and our recent intake, which is is August, our fall 2020 intake, for which if anybody wants to enroll online, can do that. We have a cyber grant as well for that, wherein student can enroll on per credit basis at a discounted fee. And we'll be happy to share about the details of cyber grant also. Before that, I'll just quickly pick up one question. It's about SAT. So SAT is required for admissions or in order to earn better scholarships. So what is the role of SAT for that case?
Okay. With the SAT or the ACT, they don't go into consideration for the scholarships to our office. However, we do have a very unique program, which is called the Honors College. And the Honors College gives the students all the advantages of a small liberal arts college in terms of smaller class sizes, intensive research, intensive writing, but it is within the larger university. And so students who are in that program are eligible for merit-based scholarships. The SAT might be helpful in that case, but in terms of our scholarships, we just look directly at the GPA.
Thank you, Lee, for that. So it clearly answers the question that a SAT is not required as a part of admission process or for the consideration of scholarships. SAT is required, or we might consider SAT as a replacement of your English proficiency test scores, like as a replacement of your IELTS, PTE, or TOEFL. However, it is not required as a part of admission, or it will not be considered for scholarship. It's only GPA which will be considered for scholarships. So Lee, would you like to give details about the cyber grant which we have for our students, those who would like to start the classes online? So this is a discounted fee per credit. If you can just to share the details on the same.
Okay. Well, with the Cyber Start grant, students are able to start their program online this fall. The catch is that they have to be in a program that will allow a start for fall online. That can be, probably the faculty is better equipped to answer this than I am. On the graduate level, it could be a problem if the program is not able to facilitate a cyber start. But at the undergraduate level, it's not a problem at all. So students would be eligible for reduced tuition.
Great. Thank you for that, Lee. I think I'm sure that many of you will have a lot of questions. You have my contact details, and our faculty has also shared their contact details with you. So if you have any questions, you can get in touch with us. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions and queries. And we are waiting for inquiries coming in from students as well, so that we can help them out with their dream to study abroad and to choose University of Missouri St. Louis as a study destination. As most of you have attended my sessions, and I've specified that we are amongst top 6% institution worldwide, and it is a choice, a best choice for the students to go and choose University of Missouri as a study destination. So Leanne, would you like to give some insights on why students should choose St. Louis as a study destination?
Definitely, and I'll start with, on a personal note, I'm a transplant to St. Louis. I'm originally from Germany, and I've been here for 8 years. I had never heard of St. Louis before. Big shame on me. Never considered to come here, and we have a tagline about St. Louis. It's like, first, nobody knows about us, and then they don't want to leave. So once you get here, you will soon realize that St. Louis has basically all that you need academically, and UMSL is great for that as a public research university on a price tag that provides you with, that gives you a degree that is great, that sells well in the market, and especially also, like our faculty mentioned in several of their slides, that our own business ecosystem around St. Louis is robust enough to give students the opportunity to find jobs right after graduation. Plus, I don't know how much we hit on that today during the slides. A lot of our programs come with internship opportunities, and which is, I know it's a high selling point in India and elsewhere in the region. And so UMSL has a great system to help students find those internships. One of the slides had all the medical and biotech companies in and around St. Louis, which are highly attractive, and in those companies you'll find a large international community. So you're not coming here to the Midwest and then it's, sorry for saying as an international, please, my faculty, if you happen to be from here, don't take offense, but it's not just full of Midwesterners. It's a great place to start. And then on the cultural side, we actually have a lot of culture that is for free, starting from music and theater and the outdoors. Our students like to go hiking, like the green. The weather is nice, especially when you come from India, you will feel at home because the number, so I'm from northern Germany where you have like 60 days of sunshine a year. So here you get like 320, the sun is out all the time, but you have the seasons and you can enjoy them. So St. Louis is a great place, and UMSL is too, and our campus is a former golf course. What you see in the back of Lee Hazagava's slide here, she's in front of our I wouldn't call it brand new, but in front of our rec center, which is 5 years old and about to open after the pandemic again, or among, like, we're not quite finished yet, but with all the precautions that we have, and it is free for students, and it's a big highlight for our students, everybody, male and female, to just utilize the facilities and enjoy our campus. Plus dorms. We haven't mentioned dorms today, Lee. I haven't heard it, but we do have dorm facilities, different to choose from, and UMSL does not require anybody to stay there, but we do give options. So it's a great start. And my last line on this, Priyanka, will be that the one thing about UMSL and being an international UMSL is we're big enough to have everything you need at a great quality, and we are small enough to know each other. And as you know, Priyanka, I was an international student in India some 20 some years ago, and I know how that goes when you have faculty taking care of you and actually knowing you by name and checking in how you're doing, and if you know where you get your groceries, you know. Plus our UMSL global team, of course, has an infrastructure to help everybody coming here. So welcome to UMSL, welcome to St. Louis, and hopefully this pandemic will loosen its grip soon for all of us. My last takeaway on the pandemic is we already talked about what do we do in the fall, and hopefully not longer than the fall with blended or hybrid. The most important thing is that our facilities and our requirements at the university for any in-person classroom, lab, or whatever requirement has the highest standards of safety. And all our faculty and students are required to wear masks or other face gear to be protected, to be safe. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for giving all the details. And I would like to say so that UMSL is a place wherein if you're looking at cost, so we have wonderful scholarships options, and we are amongst the metropolitan area. And at the same time, out of the other 20 largest metropolitan area, we are cost-wise, we are very good. We have wonderful faculty, most supportive faculty. You have met our department today, and you have been meeting other departments as well. And going forward, we have meetings with our other departments for you to know that how wonderful and supportive team we have in UMSL, and your students will be very well taken care of. So in the end, I would I would ask our esteemed faculty if they want to say something in the end to our partner agents here.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. We appreciate it. Hope to see you soon.
Yes, thanks everyone for attending. And let me just say that when I came here from California, people there wondered why I wanted to come here, and I learned that they're really missing out.
Thank you very much.
I think we have a very broad group of people watching us today, and so I'm sure we answered some of your questions. I'm sure there are more. Please don't hesitate to reach out to ask us any other questions you might have.
Exactly. Don't hesitate to contact us. We would love to talk with you about any of your questions.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, our esteemed faculty, for taking out your time and giving us information about our wonderful programs. I'm sure this has really helped our partner agents to know more about our programs, and I'm sure they will have a lot of questions and queries coming up in future for you. As I can see, a few of the people are asking for the promotional material. You have my email ID. Please get in touch with me. I'll be happy to share all the promotional material. In the end, we have a regular webinars going on. If you want to follow what all webinars are on which all date, what all events are there in place, you can visit our website, which is mschoolmedia.com. And also we have our YouTube channel wherein we keep on putting in all our webinar details or live webinars. Everything is posted out there, so you can even have a look at it. Particularly people, those who must have missed it because of their personal reasons, maybe few left because of technical concerns or whatever. So you can even go ahead and check out on our YouTube. So thank you, Lian, thank you, Lee, and our wonderful faculty for your time today. And to our partner agents, please take care of yourself, be safe, travel restrictions though are over. However, health is wealth. So please take care of yourself during this time of pandemic. Take care. We'll take care of you.
Host as always. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks everybody for joining today.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.